Have you ever wondered how some people manage to lead with such courage and wisdom, even in the most challenging situations? The story of Deborah, Barak, and Jael in the Bible is a perfect example of how faith and determination can transform the destiny of a nation. Deborah, a remarkable figure in the scriptures, stood out as a courageous and wise leader. Known for her insight and discernment, she played a crucial role as a prophetess and judge of Israel. Her ability to interpret the divine will and apply it in judicial decisions made her a respected and admired leader by all. Just like someone steering a ship through a storm, Deborah guided her people through turbulent times, always with a clear vision and a defined purpose. Deborah's leadership was marked by profound wisdom that transcended the norms of her time. As a prophetess, she not only delivered divine messages but also offered practical advice and solutions to the daily problems of her people. Imagine having a leader who not only understood everyday challenges, but also had the ability to offer solutions inspired by a higher power. This made Deborah a unique and essential figure for Israel during a period of great oppression. In times of oppression, the presence of strong leadership is crucial. Deborah emerged as a light in the darkness for the Israelites, who faced the tyranny of the Canaanites. Her leadership was based not only on her position, but also on her ability to inspire and motivate her people to remain strong and united. Just as a lighthouse guides ships safely, Deborah guided Israel with firmness and compassion. Deborah lived in a time of great historical and social challenges. Idolatry and sin had led the Israelites to oppression under King Jabin of Canaan. However, amidst this chaos, Deborah's figure emerged as a symbol of hope and renewal. She became a central figure not only for her judgment skills, but also for her unwavering faith in God and determination to restore justice and peace in Israel. Deborah's influence over the people of Israel was profound and lasting. Her ability to communicate with God and interpret His will gave the Israelites a sense of security and purpose. Imagine living in a community where the leadership is in direct harmony with divine wisdom. This connection strengthened the people's faith and encouraged them to follow the path of righteousness and justice. Deborah not only led, she inspired future leaders with her example. Practically speaking, her story teaches the importance of leadership based on solid ethical and moral principles. Modern leaders can learn much from Deborah, especially about the importance of listening to and understanding the needs of their followers while remaining firm in their convictions. This approach promotes leadership that not only guides, but also empowers and transforms. Faith was a central component of Deborah's leadership. Her ability to guide her people was deeply rooted in her connection with God. This relationship provided not only spiritual guidance, but also a solid foundation for her decisions. In times of uncertainty, leaders who demonstrate firm and consistent faith can inspire confidence and stability in their followers. Deborah is a clear example of how faith can be a source of unwavering strength. Effective leadership often relies on the ability to inspire and motivate others. Deborah exemplified this through her faith and actions. She didn't just tell the people what to do, she led them by example, demonstrating courage and determination. Contemporary leaders can learn from Deborah the importance of leading by example and maintaining a clear and inspiring vision, especially in times of crisis. Deborah's impact on biblical history is immeasurable. Her story is a testament to the power of leadership inspired by faith and divine wisdom. Even after centuries, Deborah continues to be a source of inspiration for those who seek to lead with integrity and purpose. Her life and actions are remembered as a beacon of hope and courage, demonstrating that strong and just leadership can overcome any adversity. Deborah teaches us that true leadership is not just about command, but about inspiration and service to others. This lesson connects perfectly to the next chapter of the story, where we will see how Israel's oppression after King Ahab's death led to the need for leaders like Deborah to guide them through adversity. After King Ahab's death, Israel faced a period of great turmoil. The absence of strong and just leadership led the people to stray from God's ways, plunging into idolatry and sin. This moral and spiritual decay paved the way for their enemies to grow stronger and begin to oppress the chosen nation. History shows us that when a society loses its ethical compass, it becomes vulnerable to external forces seeking to dominate it. Idolatry, a practice severely condemned in the scriptures, became common among the Israelites. They began to worship foreign gods, ignoring God's commandments. This spiritual betrayal not only weakened the relationship between the people and their creator, but also corroded the moral fabric of Israeli society. Like a tree whose roots have been compromised, Israel began to falter, becoming susceptible to the negative influence of foreign powers. It was in this context of decay that King Jabin of Canaan rose to power, imposing his rule over Israel. Jabin, a ruthless leader, saw in the Israelites' weakness an opportunity to expand his kingdom. With an iron fist, he subjugated the people, using powerful military force and oppressive strategies to ensure his authority. Jabin's presence represented not only a physical threat, but also a symbol of divine punishment for Israel's infidelity. Alongside Jabin, his commander Sisera played a crucial role in oppressing Israel. Sisera, known for his brutality and military efficiency, led a feared army equipped with iron chariots that terrorized the Israelites. His presence on the battlefield was synonymous with despair and defeat for God's people. Sisera's figure became a symbol of the suffering and adversity faced by Israel under Canaanite oppression. The oppression was not only military, it affected all aspects of the Israelites' daily lives. They were forced to surrender their harvests, pay exorbitant tributes, and endure the constant threat of violence. Communities were destabilized, and fear permeated every village and city. This constant pressure created a climate of hopelessness and resignation, making it difficult to organize resistance against the oppressors. Idolatry and sin weakened Israel, creating internal divisions that Jabin and Sisera exploited. The lack of unity and common purpose made it difficult to organize effective resistance. History shows that when a people stray from their fundamental values, they become vulnerable to destructive influences. In Israel, idolatry led to social fragmentation, undermining the people's ability to unite against the Canaanite threat. Despite the adversities, some Israelites kept the flame of hope and faith alive. They sought refuge in God's promises and prayed for a deliverer who could lead them to freedom. This unwavering faith was a source of strength in dark times, reminding them that despite the oppression, God had not abandoned his people. Prayer and the search for divine guidance were common practices among those who refused to lose hope. The response to the oppression came in the form of spiritual leaders who rose to guide the people. Deborah, as a prophetess and judge, was one such figure. Her leadership offered not only direction, but also a renewal of faith and hope among the Israelites. In times of crisis, the presence of spiritual leaders can be crucial in maintaining a community's cohesion and determination. Deborah exemplified this need, guiding Israel with wisdom and courage. The Canaanite oppression, though severe, prepared the ground for divine intervention. The Israelites began to realize the importance of returning to God's ways and seeking his protection. This spiritual awakening created an environment conducive to the action of inspired leaders, like Deborah, who was ready to answer the divine call and lead her people to freedom. Spiritual preparation was fundamental for the victory to come. This spiritual preparation culminated in Deborah's call to Barak, a military leader destined to confront Sisera. The next part of this story reveals how Deborah, inspired by God, summoned Barak to lead an army against the oppressors, showing that faith and courageous action can bring liberation even in the most challenging circumstances. Deborah, illuminated by divine wisdom, received a clear instruction from God. It was time to free Israel from the oppressive yoke of the Canaanites. With the firmness of someone who knows her mission is guided by the Almighty, she did not hesitate to seek Barak, a respected and courageous military leader. Deborah's confidence in her faith and visions was unwavering, serving as a beacon of hope for her people in times of uncertainty. When summoned by Deborah, Barak faced a dilemma. He recognized the gravity of the situation and the need for action, but also felt the weight of the responsibility imposed upon him. Hesitant, he asked Deborah to accompany him in the battle, knowing that her presence would be a source of inspiration and courage. This request reflected not only his faith in Deborah, but also the acknowledgement of his own need for spiritual support. Barak's hesitation is a powerful reminder of the importance of faith and trust in times of crisis. In moments of great challenge, it is natural to feel fear and uncertainty. However, it is in these moments that faith can become our greatest ally, offering strength and clarity to move forward. Deborah, with her presence and words of encouragement, represented this living faith, capable of moving mountains and transforming hearts. Together, Deborah and Barak began to plan the strategy to face Sisera's powerful army. With discernment and wisdom, they chose Mount Tabor as the battlefield, a strategic location that offered significant tactical advantages. Careful planning and meticulous preparation were essential to maximize their chances of success against a formidable enemy. This example of strategic planning can be applied to many areas of our lives, reminding us of the importance of being prepared and acting wisely. Deborah's role as a motivator and spiritual leader cannot be underestimated. Her presence alongside Barak was a constant reminder that God was with them. She not only provided spiritual guidance but also strengthened the morale of the troops, inspiring courage and determination. In any endeavor, having a leader who can inspire and lift morale is crucial for success. Preparing the 10,000 men who made up the Israelite army was an arduous but essential task. Every soldier needed to be ready, physically and spiritually, for the challenge they would face. Deborah and Barak worked tirelessly to ensure their troops were well prepared and motivated. This level of preparation and dedication is a testament to what can be achieved when working with a clear purpose and a shared vision. The shared leadership between Deborah and Barak is an inspiring example of cooperation and mutual respect. Each brought their unique strengths to the partnership, creating a powerful synergy that enhanced their chances of success. In our own lives, we can learn a lot from this collaborative leadership approach, recognizing the value of diverse skills and perspectives. The relationship between Deborah and Barak during the campaign was marked by trust and mutual respect. Barak trusted Deborah's spiritual wisdom, while she respected his military skill and courage. This harmonious partnership is an example of how trust and mutual respect can strengthen any endeavor, whether it is a historic battle or a contemporary project. With the preparations complete and the strategic plan established, Deborah and Barak were ready to face Sisera and his army. The next phase of their journey would be the decisive battle at Mount Tabor, where faith, courage, and wisdom would be put to the test. The anticipation and tension were palpable, but the confidence in divine intervention remained unwavering, setting the stage for a victory that would change Israel's destiny. The final preparations before the battle were meticulous and crucial. Every Israelite soldier, under the leadership of Barak and Deborah, was in position, ready to face the Canaanite army. The atmosphere was charged with tension, but also with an unshakable faith in divine intervention. Mount Tabor would be the scene of a confrontation that would change Israel's destiny, and everyone knew the importance of the moment. The atmosphere among the soldiers was a mix of nervousness and anticipation. Many were there for the first time in a major battle, while others were veterans of fights against their oppressors. Deborah's presence among them, with her serenity and confidence, served as a beacon of hope. She walked among the men, offering words of encouragement and faith, reminding them that God was with them. Deborah, with her firm and calm voice, spoke about the divine promise of victory. She assured each soldier that despite the strength of Sisera's iron chariots, God's intervention would be decisive. Her words were like an anchor for anxious hearts, infusing them with the courage needed to face the enemy. This inspiration was vital, for a battle is not won only with weapons but also with spirit. Barak, determined and resolute, led his men with courage. He knew that his confidence and posture were crucial to maintaining high morale. Barak reminded everyone that they were fighting for their families, their homes, and their freedom. He stood out as an example of bravery, urging his men to fight with all their might, trusting in the victory promised by God. Sisera's army approached, and the iron chariots were an impressive and intimidating sight. These war machines, highly advanced for the time, symbolized Canaanite strength. The sound of the chariots moving across the battlefield was enough to instill fear, but the Israelites, strengthened by Deborah's words and Barak's leadership, were ready to face this threat. When the battle began at Mount Tabor, the clash was intense. Sisera's iron chariots advanced with overwhelming force, initially seeming invincible. The Canaanites' technological superiority was evident, and the Israelites faced a tough fight. However, Deborah and Barak's confidence in divine intervention kept them firm, resisting the enemy's advance with determination. The initial superiority of the Canaanite army seemed to confirm the Israelites' worst fears. The iron chariots cut through the ranks of soldiers easily, and the battle seemed to tilt in Sisera's favor. However, Deborah and Barak's faith did not waver. They knew that God had not abandoned them, and that the tide of battle could turn at any moment. Then the divine intervention began to manifest. A sudden storm arose, darkening the sky and bringing torrential rains. The Kishon River, which ran near the battlefield, began to overflow. This sudden flood was a clear sign that God was intervening in favor of Israel, transforming the dry land into a treacherous mudfield. The Kishon River overflowed, flooding the battlefield and creating chaos among the Canaanite ranks. The iron chariots, which had been Sisera's greatest advantage, were now stuck in the mud. The enemy's strength was neutralized by a natural phenomenon that could only be seen as the hand of God at work. This critical moment turned the tide of battle in favor of the Israelites. Sisera's iron chariots, stuck and immobilized in the mud, left the Canaanite soldiers vulnerable. The superiority of the chariots was neutralized, and the Israelites saw their chance to counterattack with renewed strength. The advantage was now clearly theirs, and the determination of each Israelite soldier shone brightly. This was a turning point that changed the battle's fate. With the iron chariots immobilized, the Israelites attacked with vigor. Led by Barak's courage and inspired by Deborah's presence, they fought with all their might. The bravery displayed on the battlefield was a testament to the faith and meticulous preparation led by Deborah and Barak. The confidence in divine victory was now becoming a reality. The bravery of the Israelite soldiers was evident in every confrontation. They fought with fierce determination, each one knowing that their people's freedom was at stake. Faith in Deborah and Barak's leadership and God's intervention gave them extraordinary strength. They fought not only with their weapons but with their hearts, inspired by the greater purpose of their mission. Sisera, after seeing his army defeated and his iron chariots stuck in the mud, fled desperately from the battlefield. He knew his only chance of survival was to find refuge away from the victorious Israelites. In his flight, he sought a place where he could hide and plan his next move. His mind was filled with fear and uncertainty, knowing that his fate was hanging by a thread. Exhausted and out of options, Sisera made his way to the camp of Heber the Kenite. Heber and his family were known for their neutrality in the war between Israel and Canaan, which made Sisera believe he would find safety there. Upon arrival, he was greeted by Jael, Heber's wife. Sisera's desperation was evident, and he begged for shelter, trusting that he would be safe from the Israelites. Jael, a woman of great courage and determination, welcomed Sisera with hospitality. She invited him into her tent, offering him water and a place to rest. Sisera, exhausted and confident in the offered safety, accepted the invitation. He did not suspect that Jael had other plans in mind. Sisera's trust in Jael's hospitality would be his fatal mistake. Jael offered Sisera milk instead of water, a drink that would help him relax and fall asleep faster. With gentle words and a welcoming attitude, she made him feel secure. Sisera, feeling protected, completely let his guard down. He fell into a deep sleep, unaware of the fate that awaited him. Jael's tent, which seemed a safe refuge, would become the place of his last night. While Sisera slept, Jael made a courageous decision. She knew that Sisera's presence represented a continuous threat to Israel, and that Deborah's prophecy had to be fulfilled. Determined to act, Jael took a tent peg and a hammer. She approached Sisera silently, who was defenseless in his deep sleep. With a firm and decisive blow, she drove the peg into Sisera's temple, killing him instantly. Deborah's prophecy that a woman would receive the glory for defeating Sisera was fulfilled through Jael's actions. Her courage and determination were crucial for the conclusion of this pivotal battle. Sisera's death marked the end of Canaanite oppression over Israel, bringing a new era of freedom and peace for the people. Jael, an apparently ordinary woman, became an unexpected heroine. The news of Sisera's death spread quickly among the Israelites. Upon hearing of Jael's bravery, Israel's soldiers and leaders were impressed and grateful. Jael's action not only completed the victory, but also inspired the Israelites to believe in the power of faith and divine action in their lives. Deborah's confidence in God's intervention had been justified in a miraculous and unexpected way. The reaction of the Israelite army to Sisera's death was one of euphoria and relief. They knew that the threat posed by Sisera was eliminated and that victory was complete. Jael's bravery was celebrated, and her courageous action was seen as a direct manifestation of God's will. The victory over Sisera symbolized not only the defeat of an oppressor, but also the power of faith and divine justice. The impact of Jael's action in the war was profound. With Sisera's death, the morale of the Canaanites was shattered, and their organized resistance crumbled. The Israelites, in turn, felt strengthened and invigorated. The victory served as a powerful reminder that with faith and determination, even the most formidable challenges can be overcome. Jael's story became an inspiration for future generations. Jael was recognized as a heroine for her decisive role in Israel's liberation. Her courage and decisive action were celebrated in songs and stories passed down through generations. The memory of her bravery served as a beacon of inspiration for all who faced oppression and challenges in their own lives. Jael demonstrated that true courage can arise in the most unexpected moments and from the most unlikely people. With Sisera's death, the Israelite victory was complete. The people of Israel celebrated with songs and dances, thanking God for his miraculous intervention. Deborah and Barak, alongside Jael, were celebrated as leaders and heroes. However, Israel's journey was far from over. The next step would be to remember and celebrate the divine intervention and bravery that led to victory, which would be immortalized in Deborah's song. Jael is a fascinating figure in biblical history, not only for her courage, but also for the context in which she lived. As the wife of Heber the Kenite, Jael resided in a tribe that maintained cautious neutrality during the conflicts between Israel and Canaan. This neutral position made her action against Sisera even more surprising and significant, marking her as an unexpected heroine in Israel's narrative. Heber and his family chose not to ally directly with either side in the war between Israel and the Canaanites. This neutrality allowed them to live in peace, but also required a delicate political balance. Jael, however, in deciding to kill Sisera, broke this neutrality in an act of extreme courage and conviction. Her family's neutrality made her action even more surprising and impactful. Jael's role in Israel's history is of vital importance. By assassinating Sisera, she not only helped fulfill Deborah's prophecy, but also ensured her people's freedom from Canaanite oppression. Her action showed that bravery can emerge from the most unlikely people, and that even those who seem insignificant can have a profound impact on history. Jael's decision to kill Sisera was an act of uncommon courage. In a world where brute force was often the currency of power, Jael's boldness in using her intelligence and determination to defeat an enemy commander stood out as an example of true bravery. Her action was motivated by a sense of justice and protection for her people, demonstrating that courage can manifest in surprising ways. Jael's motivations for acting against Sisera were clear: to protect Israel and fulfill Deborah's prophecy. In making this decision, she knew the risks involved, but her determination to ensure Israel's freedom was stronger than any fear. Jael's courage was driven by a deep conviction that her action was necessary for the greater good of her people. Jael's courage and determination are evident in every aspect of her action. She did not hesitate to seize the opportunity she had to eliminate Sisera, knowing that this would bring relief and liberation to the Israelites. Her action was swift, decisive, and effective, highlighting her inner strength and commitment to Israel's cause. Israel's initial reaction to Jael's action was one of surprise and admiration. The news that a woman, specifically a woman from a neutral tribe, had killed the feared Canaanite commander quickly spread. Jael's action not only fulfilled the prophecy, but also elevated her to a position of great respect and recognition among the Israelites. The immediate impact of Sisera's death was immense. Without their commander, the Canaanite army quickly collapsed, allowing the Israelites to consolidate their victory. Jael's action changed the course of history, providing a decisive moment that marked the end of Canaanite oppression. Her courage was a crucial factor in Israel's liberation. Jael became a symbol of faith and courage for the Israelites. Her story was told and retold, inspiring future generations to believe in the power of courageous action and divine intervention. Jael showed that even in the most desperate situations, faith and courage can prevail. She became a living example of how trust in God can lead to victory. Deborah's prophecy that a woman would receive the glory for defeating Sisera was impressively fulfilled through Jael. This fulfillment not only validated Deborah's leadership and vision, but also highlighted the importance of women in the biblical narrative. Jael, with her courageous act, embodied the realization of this prophecy, showcasing the vital role of women in Israel's history. Jael was elevated to the status of a national heroine, recognized for her bravery and the impact of her action. Her name became synonymous with bravery and unwavering faith. The Israelites celebrated her memory as an example of heroism and devotion to God. Jael's story served as a constant reminder of the importance of faith and courageous action. Jael's importance in the biblical narrative cannot be underestimated. Her story is a testament to divine intervention and the ability of any person, regardless of their position or status, to make a difference. Jael exemplified the idea that true courage comes from within and that with faith, any obstacle can be overcome. Jael's legacy for future generations is enduring. Her story continues to be told as an example of faith and courage. The generations that came after her saw in her action a model to be followed. Jael became a symbol that even in the most difficult circumstances, faith and determination can lead to victory. Her story is a beacon of hope for all who face challenges. Comparisons with other courageous figures in history show that Jael is in good company. From military leaders to justice defenders, many have followed her example of courage. Jael's action resonates through the ages as a reminder that true courage knows no barriers of gender, social position, or circumstances. Her story inspires everyone to believe in the power of faith and decisive action. Jael's victory is immortalized in Deborah's song, a celebration of divine intervention and human bravery. This song not only celebrates the victory, but also highlights the importance of faith and courage. It is a poetic and powerful testimony of Jael's role in Israel's liberation, setting the stage for the next chapter in the story of God's people. The Song of Deborah and Barak is one of the most inspiring and poetic passages in the Bible. This song, recorded in the book of Judges, is a celebration of the miraculous victory granted by God to the people of Israel. After the defeat of Sisera and his iron chariots, Deborah and Barak sang a hymn of praise, thanking God for the divine intervention and recognizing the courage of those who participated in the battle. Deborah's song is not only a recounting of historical events, but also a profound expression of faith and gratitude. In Israel's historical and cultural context, songs like this were used to celebrate great victories and to convey important moral and spiritual lessons. It was a way to keep alive the memory of God's acts and to inspire future generations to follow His path. The celebration of victory and divine intervention is the central theme of the song. Deborah and Barak begin by exalting God, acknowledging that the victory was a divine gift. They recognize that without God's help, the battle would have been impossible to win. This attitude of gratitude is a powerful reminder of the importance of recognizing God's hand in our lives, especially in moments of triumph. The song praises the courage of Deborah and Barak, highlighting their crucial role in leading the people of Israel. Deborah is mentioned as a mother in Israel, a figure of wisdom and strength who guided her people in times of need. Barak is praised for his bravery on the battlefield, for following the divine call, and for leading his men with determination and faith. Jael's bravery is also celebrated in the song. She is described as most blessed among women, recognizing her decisive action in killing Sisera. The song details Jael's courage and determination, showing how an ordinary woman can become a heroine through faith and courageous action. This recognition underscores the importance of each individual in the divine plan. The poetic description of the battle and victory in the song is vivid and inspiring. Images of storms, overflowing rivers, and iron chariots stuck in the mud evoke God's direct intervention in the fight. This rich and imaginative language not only narrates the events, but also captures the emotion and wonder of witnessing divine power in action. The song highlights the importance of unity and faith. Deborah and Barak emphasize the need for cohesion among Israel's tribes and unwavering trust in God. This unity was essential for victory, showing that when God's people are united and faithful, they can overcome even the greatest challenges. God-inspired leaders play a central role in the song. Deborah, as a prophetess and judge, is a clear example of how divine leadership can guide a people through adversity. The song urges listeners to value and follow leaders who are guided by God, recognizing that these leaders are instruments of divine will. Gratitude to God for the deliverance permeates the entire song. Deborah and Barak repeatedly express their thanks for the divine intervention, acknowledging that the victory was an act of mercy and grace. This gratitude serves as an example to all, showing the importance of recognizing and thanking God for His blessings in our lives. The song also reflects on oppression and redemption. It reminds listeners of the suffering Israel endured under Canaanite oppression, and how God heard their cries and brought deliverance. This reflection serves as a reminder that regardless of the depth of suffering, divine redemption is always within reach for those who keep their faith. The exhortation to justice and faithfulness is clear in the song. Deborah and Barak call on the people of Israel to remain faithful to God and to seek justice in all their actions. They recognize that the victory was a result of their faithfulness to God, and that maintaining justice is essential for the continuation of divine blessing. The song serves as an inspiration for future generations. By recounting the story of divine victory and human courage, it offers a powerful example of faith in action. This inspiration is not just historical, but also spiritual, encouraging everyone to trust in God and to act with courage and determination. The impact of the song on Israelite culture was profound. It became part of the oral and written tradition, passed down from generation to generation as a symbol of faith and victory. The story of Deborah, Barak, and Jael continued to inspire the people of Israel, reminding them of God's power and the importance of courage and faith. The lasting legacy of the song is a testament to the power of words and faith. It continues to be studied, sung, and remembered as an example of inspired leadership and divine intervention. Deborah's song is more than a celebration of a military victory. It is a declaration of faith and a reminder of God's power in action. With the victory and celebration captured in the song, Israel entered a period of peace and prosperity. The leadership of Deborah and the courage of Jael brought a new era for God's people. This peace, born of faith and divine intervention, would be remembered and celebrated for many generations, solidifying Deborah's legacy as one of Israel's great leaders. The narrative of Deborah, Barak, and Jael offers us timeless lessons of faith, courage, and inspired leadership. Deborah, with her wisdom and firmness, led Israel through dark times, demonstrating that true leadership comes from faith and obedience to God. Barak, by following the divine call despite his doubts, showed that courage can be strengthened by faith and mutual support. And Jael, with her decisive and unexpected act, reminds us that bravery can manifest in the most improbable moments and through the most unexpected people. These examples inspire us to reflect on our own lives. In what areas can we demonstrate Deborah's unwavering faith, Barak's courage, or Jael's determination? We are called to lead with integrity, act with courage, and trust in divine intervention in our daily challenges. Like them, we can make a difference in our world, regardless of the circumstances. Now, think about how you can apply these principles in your life. What steps can you take to lead with faith, act with courage, and support those around you? How can you trust more deeply in God in moments of uncertainty? The story of Deborah, Barak, and Jael encourages us to believe that, with faith and action, we can overcome any obstacle. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue exploring inspiring stories and learning more about how to apply these principles in your life. Together, we can grow in wisdom, courage, and faith, transforming our lives and communities.